Snow clearing efforts continue across the city. Synergy North warns of holiday scams. And a local filmmaker shines a light on addiction. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Snow clearing continues after yesterday's heavy snowfall. Parts of Thunder Bay were hit with more than 15 centimeters on Thursday, with more on the way. But that wasn't as much as initially expected, helping to expedite the cleanup effort. And as Mike Lang tells us, mail delivery also resumed today.
Thanks to warmer than normal temperatures and lighter than expected snowfall, Thunder Bay's snow clearing efforts are going well after Thursday's storm. Plows made multiple passes on main arterial roads, allowing them to keep up with Mother Nature. The snow is expected to continue into the weekend, but City Roads manager Ian Spaljerich says the ongoing cleanup is right on schedule.
Cleanup's been going well. We had a blast of snow there late yesterday morning. We got the plows on it right away, took care of most of it, and then they came in early this morning to clean up the rest on the priority routes, and then they quickly moved into residential streets. I think we're where we need to be right now. The warmer temperatures definitely helped us right now, and I don't think we got as much snow as that they forecasted. We got the full amount that they were calling for. It would have taken us a couple more days to clean up, but I think right now we should have everything done by the end of the weekend.
With the city taking control of clearing the roads, Canada Post has now changed the region's status from red to yellow, which means mail delivery service will resume, but with possible delays and by prioritizing the safety of deliverers. Spokesperson Phil Legault says that the Post could also use the weekend to catch up on deliveries that were lost from Thursday.
We are delivering on weekends at this time of year when it's necessary, so if that's the case, then don't be surprised to see your Canada Post truck and your delivery person on the road this weekend.
Canada Post is encouraging residents to clear ice and snow from their walkway, stairs, and driveways to allow for easier access to their front doors and mailboxes. Mike Lang, TBT News.
Well, we've all heard the term long COVID, but even the experts don't yet fully understand exactly what it is and how long it might affect those who are suffering from it. Fortunately, though, there's a clinic right here in Thunder Bay that's helping patients cope.
We're still understanding this syndrome post-infection.
There's still so much that isn't yet known about long COVID, why symptoms persist, how long they might last, or the impacts down the road. But those who are suffering do have somewhere to turn. A clinic at St. Joseph's Hospital has been helping long COVID patients for nearly a year and a half. Dr. Sarah Kelly says after checking them for other undiagnosed causes of their symptoms, it's mainly about supportive care.
So we don't have a lot of really true treatments per se. So it's more so a lot of just making sure that patients' wellness and their mental health, in addition to their physical symptoms, are being addressed in sort of a comprehensive manner.
The clinic has treated 61 patients since it opened in July of 2021, ranging in age from late teens to those in their 50s and 60s. Kelly says there are some common symptoms.
So they're having difficulties sustaining a day at work or doing, the physical activity that they used to enjoy. I would say that's a predominant symptom and concern that we're seeing in clinic, as well as patients predominantly coming with shortness of breath or breathing problems that don't seem to be getting better after their infection, or if they're having any sort of cardiac symptoms. I would say those would be the predominant, as well as the brain fog.
Those who believe they may have long COVID should seek a referral from a primary care physician. Kelly urges everyone to stay home when sick and mask up in crowded public spaces to protect others and themselves. Well, speaking of, we're just over a week away from Christmas and the many gatherings that come with it. But as the surge of respiratory illnesses and the strain on hospitals continues, some people are rethinking their holiday plans. Allison Hurst reports.
The signs of the holidays are in nearly every store window, while signs linked to the flu season remain on the faces in the street amid a surge of respiratory illness.
Actually, the flu more than even COVID this year. It sounds like it's coming back.
This is the first holiday season since 2019 without recommended restrictions. But with the surge of sick patients at hospitals across the province, it has many wondering if they should gather this holiday.
I'm gonna decorate my room, and then I also have a Zoom call with also my friend and my family, so that we can have like Christmas ride together, even though it's kind of online.
To be able to gather with her family, obviously, but we'll do what's safe.
Ontario's top doctor is giving a reason to hope, saying the flu season may have peaked, that as of December 10th, the number of Ontarians with the flu was down. But in the province's biggest city,
we continue to see flu cases increase. We do expect in the next couple of weeks that we may reach the top of the peak. But remember, all that means is that we have to come down the peak.
hope quashed as cases have come sooner and faster.
We've hit the highest number of cases that we would expect on average in a season.
The Liberal health critic is frustrated by what he sees as a lack of leadership from the government and the Chief Medical Officer of Health.
There is no updated guidance about how we can all protect each other as we head indoors. How can we keep each other safe, especially with looming Christmas parties?
Jody Clark says his gathering will be smaller this year.
I think we're trying to make it normal, yeah. Everyone's fed up and is moving on, and the most important thing is to be with family. So if we can try to contain it in a safe environment, I think that's the best way to do it.
Alison Hurst, CTV News.
The head of the Ontario Medical Association says virtual walk-in clinics may be adding to the strain on the healthcare system instead of easing the burden. Research has found that virtual walk-in patients are twice as likely to visit an emergency department within 30 days because of a lack of continuity of care. Virtual visits have been drastically scaled back after the OMA reached a deal with the province that reduced fees paid to doctors for many of those services. Back here in our city, Synergy North is warning its customers to be wary of scams this holiday season. The utility is getting the word out due to increased reports of phone calls from people pretending to be Synergy North employees. Your spokesperson, Leslie Racco.
So unfortunately, we do see this as a peak season where scammers do target our customers, both residential and business. So we're just really warning our customers this year to be alert, be aware, keep their wits about them, and just remember our utility practices.
These scam attempts often include threats to disconnect electricity service if payments aren't made immediately. Synergy North customers are encouraged to register for the MyEnergy service on the utility's website so they can easily stay up to date with their account information. Racco adds if customers do fear they might have spoken to a scammer, they should play it safe and independently reach out to a Synergy North representative.
These scammers, they're professionals. They will mimic and imitate Synergy North recordings and employees, so it may sound legitimate. If you're questioning it, if you're not sure, just give us a call, and we will be happy to go over your account and your bill with you and let you know if it was us calling or not.
A new local documentary is expected to hit theaters next summer. A sobering story directed and produced by local filmmaker Ryan Lavia aims to reduce the stigma surrounding addiction and find out what's being done locally to help. Riley McManus reports.
We often hear from people, why can't those who use substances just quit? And they really need to know why.
About a year ago, Ryan Lavia came across a heart-wrenching story of a parent who had lost a child to addiction. That inspired him to make his new film, A Sobering Story.
The brain does funny things when somebody becomes addicted to substances, and we just want to change people's opinions and thoughts on the subject.
Lavia and his team also wanted to find out exactly what's being done in Thunder Bay to improve the situation. They've since captured more than 40 hours of video on the topic, including interviews with those who have experienced addiction firsthand and those who've felt the impacts.
Police chief, acting police chief, doctors. Very important to talk about what happens to the brain when it comes to addiction. So we thought their point of view would be extremely important in the movie. So yeah, we have a very good mix of people with lived experiences to professionals who deal in the mental health and addictions fields to really help tell the story.
Hearing people's stories has been very heartfelt. They've been very difficult to listen to. Everybody has a story, and it's usually a sad one. when it comes to substance abuse disorders. That's been very eye-opening, and through some of the other filming, aside from the sit-down interviews, the B-roll, we've gone into some low-income housing, some different things, and seen some very heartbreaking things.
There have been calls for local, provincial, and federal governments to fund treatment centers, transitional housing, warming and cooling centers, and other resources. Lavia and Hill stress the importance of becoming better educated on the topic and to get a better understanding of those who are suffering.
We really hope we change some minds. There's a strong stigma around addictions and mental health in our area. There's a lack of resources. People kind of don't understand.
We would like people to leave with a sense of hope that things are changing, that addiction is becoming at the forefront of people's minds as opposed to the back. We also want people to leave with a sense of fear, but not in a negative way. We want people to be afraid that if something isn't done now, more people may die needlessly later on.
A sobering story is expected to be released in the summer of 2023. Riley McManus, TBT News.
Well, those looking to wrap up their Christmas shopping this weekend may want to head over to Victoriaville tomorrow for the final day of the popular Friends of the Library Buck a Bag promotion.
You can browse to your heart's content in Suite 72 at Victoriaville Mall. And we have wonderful children's books, mysteries, fiction, cookbooks, lots of DVDs, so please stop in and help yourself.
As the name implies, all you need is $1, and you can fill a bag from the bookstore's large selection of used books, CDs, and DVDs. All proceeds support the Thunder Bay Public Library. Duke says the next time they hold the promotion, they should be fully moved into a new updated space at the Brody Library.
So in the spring, we're very excited that we are going to be relocating to the lower level of Brody. And so we'll have all of these wonderful books for sale just in a different location.
It'll be an exciting weekend for Thunder Bay's growing skateboarding community. The Cinema 5 Skate Park, which will become the city's only indoor skate park, opens tomorrow.
It's open for everyone, youth of all ages, adults, even skaters over 40 and 50. Everybody's welcome to come and skate, all beginner levels. We're going to be having helmets for rentals and equipment to be provided for anyone that wants to learn and anyone that wants to continue.
The facility will welcome more than just skateboarders, with BMX and scooter riders able to test their skills as well. In celebration of the opening, the first 20 people will get a free pass for their next visit. Long says it means a lot to be able to open the facility to the community after all the work they've put in to make it possible.
It's incredible to see where this was even last year, even a couple months ago, even last week, to where it is now. We've had a few people come in and skate it, and it's incredible to see the excitement of everybody riding it already. And we are just so in awe to see people ready to enjoy all of our labor that's been put into this.
The Cinema 5 Skate Park grand opening kicks off tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Well, Fiona, just in time, too, because it is not exactly skateboarding weather outside today.
No, a little wet, a little slushy, poor visibility, just not cold. You know, today we had a low of 0, a high of 2. Ironically, the 2 Celsius was in the overnight hours, and temperatures have been dropping very slowly throughout the day. So we are currently at our low for the day. Winds have been very light from the northeast, 9 to 15 kilometers per hour. And as you saw in many of our stories, we've had light snow pretty much throughout the day. Now to the west, Fort Frances had snow in the morning, clouds in the afternoon. That's where they're at right now. Temperatures really haven't moved very much. Lows were maybe 2-3 degrees cooler than the numbers they're at right now. And that seems to be the trend throughout northwestern Ontario. As I said, Fort Frances currently at -1, -5 in Kenora, -3 in Dryden, -5 in Red Lake. They've had light snow for pretty much most of the day. As we head further east, it actually warms up a little bit. The cooler air is coming from the west and the southwest, so to the east, they're enjoying milder temperatures at -1 in Armstrong and Greenstone, but it comes again with light snow for most of the day. Marathon also sitting at -1, and Sault Ste. Marie on the plus side at 1 Celsius. and they've got a light snow shower at this time. Now, here in the city of Thunder Bay, we are going to drop a whole 2 more degrees before it's all said and done, to a low of -2. And I'm going to use a word we really haven't used much at all this week, wind chill of -5. Brr. So 2 centimeters of snow showers is expected in the overnight periods. Not a lot of precipitation, but what does fall has got a better chance of sticking around because we are below the freezing mark. And as we head into the weekend, we are going to see temperatures start to drop. Now, there is still that chance of light snow for most of the region, but the system, because it is moving so slowly and it's not heading out, it's actually kind of drying itself out. So although this system looks scary and it looks like it's covering a large region, it's not solid snowfall that's going to be moving through. And I'll have more details on the amounts that your area is going to see and what's going to happen to the temperatures starting tomorrow. And that's later on in the news hour.
Okay, thanks a lot, Fiona. Well, we're going to stay with the weather as we start to look at national news after the break. Stay with us. Your Friday News Hour continues right after this.
Last night with that warm, fuzzy feeling, looking out the window, snow coming down, Christmassy. You got to get what you pay for.